Conspiracy theories are a drug, and they could, just like any drug, cause addiction. Greetings, this is Eugene the Philosopher, the greatest living philosopher after the unfortunate passing of Quentin Robert D. Nameland, who has been the greatest living philosopher before me. Now, let's talk about conspiracy theories once more. I've talked about them sometime before. I will probably quote my own videos, maybe not, we'll see. So anyways, what makes conspiracy theories good? Let's ask this question. Why are they so popular? Well, partly I've explained this in my video about science is not a worldview. See the description, where I claim that in the current world of hyperinformation, people need some beacons, if you wish. People need some integrity, right? People need a way of actually integrating any like big piece of news into a holistic framework. And conspiracy theories actually provide this sort of framework. And you might say, well, most of them are rarely falsifiable, if any are falsifiable actually. Maybe none are. But this is good in this respect, right? People don't want to have this theory and then lose it for some reason, right? So if it cannot be falsified, it's actually better. It means that they can sleep well, because any new piece of news, forgive me for this tautology, wouldn't knock off their main thing, right? Their theory that they cherish so much. Yeah. And obviously also recent events have shown us that, you know, this proverbial, what is the difference between truth and conspiracy theory? Well, about 6 months, or vice versa, conspiracy theory and truth, right? So some of them are actually legitimately true, and it's even like acknowledged by mainstream. All right. In my video about worldview, I've talked about how integrity is important, and that's why conspiracy theories are important. But I also have an older video, way older, about the sources of conspiracy theories. I'm gonna link it in the description as well, because I'm gonna quote from it a little bit. Okay, so, but here I don't want to focus on that, like why are the theories good or bad, like whatever the heck. Rather I want to focus on the consumer, if you wish, like what could be the motivation of a person to pursue the conspiracy theory, alright? And here I want to make a big claim, right? It's kind of the main point of this video actually, is emphasizing how addictive conspiracy theories are. They're like a drug, really. And this is kind of the main point I want to make here. And obviously, like, there are so many similarities you couldn't believe. So let's consider some of them. Well, obviously, like, with conspiracy theories, there's also this slippery slope kind of problem, you know, when people say, well, you start with like light drugs and then they don't give you as much kick anymore. So you progress towards harder and harder ones, right? The stronger and stronger ones. And it's kind of the same with conspiracy theories in a lot of cases, at least. See the caveat I will make down below. So you start with something relatively innocent, right? What if Shakespeare and Francis Bacon are the same person? Let's put them, for example, right? And then, like some years later, you end up claiming that Russia is a British colony, you know, or something to that effect, right? So yeah, there is definitely something of this sort happening. And I actually have no idea if for drugs this is true. Like, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, not a narcologist or whatever. So don't quote me on that. But I've just heard that such a phenomenon exists. Okay, maybe it's just hearsay. So yeah, there is a clear analogy nevertheless. And I would claim that anyways, like, all the addictions tend to group up, if you know what I mean. In the sense that one addiction rarely comes with no other addictions, you know. It's like it starts with one thing, then some other thing adds, some other thing adds, some other thing adds, because ultimately all the addictions come from the single source, right? And here I want to quote this journalist, I think Jonathan Harry was his name, H-A-R-I, if I remember correctly, but I could misremember it. Anyways, he said that the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. So he gave this famous experiment, you know, where the rats were given cocaine or whatever, and they kind of died, right? But the problem was that the rats were lonely, right? And he said that when you actually put rats in a collective, they tend to just, you know, casually play with each other and do regular rat stuff instead of drugging themselves to death. So yeah, if you lack connection, that was his main point, you will get addicted, right, to at least something. And my point here is that, well, you get addicted to one thing, but, you know, it doesn't add you connection, so nothing prevents you from getting addicted to the next 10 things, okay? So yeah, and same with conspiracy theories, ultimately. That's what I'm saying. Like, you start with this simple one, then you progress further and further down the rabbit hole, okay? And I want to return here to this point I made in that earlier video that I've mentioned, right? And the point was that ultimately the main source of conspiracy theories is dissatisfaction with reality, which again looks kind of similar, right, with the drugs and all kinds of addictions. Like, expand your consciousness by eating this magical mushroom, right? Like, take a new look at reality in this altered state that you will get. Well, isn't that exactly what conspiracy theories give you, right? They give you an alternative look at reality, which may not be so horrible as the one you're used to looking at, okay? So yeah, there is definite similarity in this respect. And again, returning to the issue of addiction, like, it looks like this with other drugs, right? Some people take some drugs just casually, like when they're hanging out with their friends, but they're not really addicted, okay? But some kind of dive right into it, like go full hardcore, and then again, add up some harder stuff on top of it. And it's the same with conspiracy theories. Like, I have many friends who actually, like, don't really believe, you know, in any of the hardcore stuff, but they kind of like to hang out with me and, like, listen to all my stories I have to tell, right? The ones you are hearing on this channel, for example, right? Okay, there is definite aesthetic component to conspiracy theories. It's also connected to this other way of looking at reality, and what I mean is the leverage. Watch my videos, Archimedes' Lever of Speculation, also a very old one. So what I mean is, you're like turning the world on its head, right? With like this lever, whatever is your pronunciation. Like, you perform the Archimedes trick, you turn the reality upside down with a simple idea, right? What if the sun is liquid? Something like that. So, and gives you immense feeling of power, because, like, holy shit, everything looks so different now, right? Big Bang never happened, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. There is this. And again, everything is will to power, and this immense feeling of power is what we're striving to achieve when we're you know, indulging in conspiratorial intake, if you wish, okay? And yeah, alternative scientific theories are definitely, well, you could argue that they are a subset of conspiracy theories in general. Yeah, the downside, however, is that as you overindulge, if you know what I mean, it makes vanilla reality very bland and tasteless, okay? Colorless, almost. Like, you can't enjoy just watching a movie anymore, because you're digging through hidden meanings. Like, you're not satisfied with the superficial level, right? The most obvious interpretation. You want something more, something harder, you know? So you're looking for fan theories and conspiracy theories about movies, etc., etc. You watch the video essays, the hidden meaning behind XYZ, etc., etc. Watch my own videos about Star Wars and Blade Runner and Matrix. I'm gonna link them. So yeah, I've definitely watched way too many essays on movies and screenplay writing and things like that. So, like, I recently caught myself, like, I've been watching some random movie, I don't even remember what it was, but I know, like, I was looking for a moment of crisis, because I know it has to be, like, roughly in the middle of the playtime. I was thinking about like, okay, what's the conscious motive of the hero? What's the subconscious motive of the hero? Like, well, what's the main driving idea, etc., etc. Maybe there is some hidden meaning. Why is this symbolism there? Why do we have these tomatoes over there, etc., etc. So yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, it works everywhere pretty much in the same way. And actually, there was a guy, still is actually, one essayist. He's a Russian-speaking guy, so if you don't speak Russian, you probably don't know about him. But he makes these very, very deep and thoughtful essays with conspiracies on movies, okay? And recently he made a video about Twilight, okay? And he spent like 7 minutes kind of explaining himself, almost like apologizing for it, but in like almost aggressive manner. Like, okay, guys, I know it's a video for like little girls, but can't we just enjoy watching it? I mean, all the like the laws of screenplay, all the drama, it's all there. But it's just without this, you know, the triple bottom, you know, that we're used to on his channel. I mean. So he was like apologizing for like 7 or 10 minutes even in this essay, which is like half an hour long or maybe about so. So yeah, sorrow is knowledge, you know. You can't enjoy simple stuff anymore. You need harder stuff. Okay. And definitely, yeah, as I've already mentioned, alternative science, or how I would call what I do, speculative science, is also another region of conspiratorial thinking. So what is speculative science? Well, it's basically, it can be formulated as, let's take a crazy idea and see how far we can go with it, right? This would be the epitome of speculative science, and this is what I do, and almost like professionally. You can see my Patreon. I have alternative science coaching, where I'm actually harvesting these alternative ideas and trying to make them more viable than they are, perhaps at this specific moment in time. So yeah, if you're interested, welcome. Yeah, so I'm really interested in things like that, and nothing gives me more thrills than actually legitimately original ideas, you know, the ones that could be developed and like nourished and turned into something greater, if you wish, and some of which I share on this channel. And I know that you are here. At least one of the reasons of why you are here is to hear about some of them. So yeah. So I'm definitely a big conspiratorial junkie, and perhaps to a degree, so are you, and I'm your drug dealer, right? So yeah, conspiracy theories are a drug, and they could, just like any drug, cause addiction. Thank you for watching. The eons are closing.
If you wish to support me, please consider joining my Patreon. That is patreon.com/philosopher. See the link in the description. Or if you have a scientific theory of your own and you'd like my help in developing it, please join my alternative science coaching program, also available through Patreon.